I'm Mark DeSchepper with Echo GPR Services, and today we're going to be talking about how GPR works.
Could you please explain what GPR stands for?
GPR stands for Ground Penetrating Radar.
And what does that exactly mean? How does it work?
It's radar technology in which it transmits a signal specifically into the ground, and we use our system to then measure and put in a display setting the reflection of those returns.
And what are you looking for under the ground?
Depends on the needs of our client. In a lot of situations, for most applications, what we're looking for underground are things that the contractors don't want to damage. So that could be conduits, utilities, reinforcement such as rebar, post-tension cables within the concrete. It could be identification of voids underneath the concrete. So there may not be a concern of what is there, but maybe what isn't there.
And are you restricted to flat dirt ground, or are there other areas you can scan?
Ideally, the equipment works best on a flat surface. Doesn't have to necessarily be the ground. We have, on many occasions, worked out of lifts, scaffolding, ladders, upside down, scanning ceilings. That's usually because of site requirements. We can work on vertical walls. We can work in confined spaced areas.
I understand we have to define two different terms. Can you explain to me what frequency means within radar?
So frequency within radar has to deal with the frequency in which the signal is being transmitted into the ground. For our customers and for our jobs, we categorize those basically into two divisions. One is high frequency systems. Another is our low frequency systems.
The other term we need to address is, what do you mean when we're discussing resolution?
So when we talk about resolution, we're talking about refinement of the image, the clarity of the return signal. Very much how you would use pixels on a screen. Our high resolution systems are going to be able to refine smaller targets, such as wire mesh, conduits, and rebar. Lower frequency systems won't be able to resolve to the clarity that a high frequency system would allow us to.
So can you explain what a high frequency system can do compared to a low frequency system?
High frequency systems are predominantly brought out where shallow depth of investigation is required. This is predominant in the concrete applications, where a plumber or an electrician only needs us to investigate just the thickness of the concrete. A lot of times that's 4, 6, 8 inches. That high resolution allows us to resolve those smaller targets, such as rebar, wire mesh, and conduits. The low frequency systems is where that depth of investigation needs to be deeper. Those are the situations in which we're well beyond our 6, 8, 10, 12 inches. Now we're being asked to locate something that might be 3, 4, 5, 6 feet down. And those low frequency systems are going to identify targets such as water lines, sewer lines, even underground fuel tanks or underground storage tanks.
And our final question today is to clarify the difference between GPR and X-ray.
There's a big difference between the two. A lot of us do refer to us as the X-ray guys or gals, and that's because they have the notion that we are looking into something. And that is true, but what's entirely different is the method in which we are looking into something. So X-ray always requires two-side access. And X-ray is always dealing with a radiological material, so it has to have a radiation source. Radar, however, is entirely different. Radar only needs one side access. The reason for this is we are not passing a signal through a material. What we're measuring is a reflection of the return. So we're transmitting on one surface, it's bouncing back to us as we remain on that same surface. We're also not using a radiation source. X-ray will also require an evacuation. In radar, you don't need that. You're operating at a frequency in the radar systems that's very similar to that of a cell phone or a walkie-talkie. So we always tell people, if a cell phone is safe in the environment, then absolutely a radar is safe in that environment. To learn more about ground penetrating radar and its applications on your job site, click that like and subscribe button on our channel. And please don't forget to visit our website at echogpr.com.